Did cruisers ask these questions? Yes, they did. Did cruisers make these comments? Yes, they did. Will these comments and questions leave you laughing and scratching your head? Yes, they will. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's episode of What Every Cruiser Wants. And we are back. And this week, I've got some cruise questions for you. I have some cruise comments for you. I have spent the week scouring the internet looking for some great information to share, some examples of the things that your fellow cruisers ask for and say. And I really think we hit the mother lode with some of these out here today. So let's jump right in. Let's find out. Are these people right? Are these people wrong? Maybe they should have done a little bit of checking before they asked some of the questions. Now, I have several of these for you today, so we're going to go through them quickly. I'm going to read it, going to kind of answer it real quickly, because some of these you can really only give so many explanations for, like this one. Can you cruise with an expired ID? Does anybody out there think this is a good idea, that they are going to let you on the cruise ship if you showed up with your expired identification, whether it's your picture ID or whether it's your passport? Keeping in mind, in some cases, your passport does have to be good for 6 months after your cruise. So yeah, if you showed up with an expired ID, you're not getting on the ship. Since there are never pool chairs available, are we allowed to bring folded up camping chairs? Again, does anybody think this is a good idea? Does anybody think that they're going to let you on board the cruise ship with your folding chair that you now take up to the Lido deck and open up and plop next to the pool on? Can you imagine what the cruise ship decks would look like if this was allowed to happen? Now, some of these I really think they have to come from people that are just messing with other cruisers out there. Trolls or keyboard warriors or people just looking for a laugh, making a joke, because this can't be real. I'm a first-time cruiser. Does anyone know if we get a balcony room, if they will have TV mounts so I can bring my 75-inch TV to enjoy, since I'll be gone a week? They want to bring a 75-inch TV on board the cruise ship with them. Now, I'm pretty sure that the cruise line's prohibited items list doesn't have TVs on it, but I'm not real sure they're going to let you carry on a 75-inch TV, and they're definitely not going to have a mount for you to mount that up while you're in your cabin enjoying what limited television you're probably going to be getting. I know there's people out there that the size of their TV in their cruise cabin matters, but is anybody really wanting to carry on a 75-inch TV? I mean, is that even real? Now I've got a comment from somebody who is not happy with Norwegian Cruise Line policy. And I do believe this issue could have been avoided, might not have happened at all, if perhaps, I don't know, parents were watching their children. We took our 11-year-old granddaughter on a cruise last week. She went to the arcade area and was allowed to play a game, racking up $387 in charges before they contacted us and stopped her card. We complained, and NCL's answer, "It happens all the time. We're sorry." They shouldn't allow kids to just charge to their card. There should be charge limits. Day $25, and then notify the parents. We are completely disappointed with Norwegian Cruise Lines and their policy. Now, you could have gone down to guest services and set a limit on your children at the beginning of the cruise. That's how there's a daily limit on your children, but you have to tell them that. But here's my real question to this particular comment. This was an 11-year-old granddaughter who went to the arcade and spent $387. Who was watching the 11-year-old? Did they just randomly send this 11-year-old off on her own into the arcade and then are mad at Norwegian Cruise Lines because she played in the arcade and it cost money? Another example of it's not the parents' or grandparents' responsibility It's the cruise line's responsibility to watch them kids. Now, I have never personally gone on a cruise and thought the waffle situation was a fiasco. And yes, I said waffles because I got a comment from somebody who, I don't know, maybe doesn't know there's more than one kind of waffle? Can someone explain the waffle fiasco I had while in the Haven? I noticed the shape varied by day. Are these the normal as I got Eggo-like ones in this photo on one day, then a Belgian bigger style one on the next? Now, if I'm reading this right, you get your basic waffle, and you get a Belgian waffle. That Belgian waffle is usually bigger and fluffier, unless I'm really confused by my waffle etiquette here. But is it a fiasco if you get a bigger waffle one day than the other? As long as they're both delicious and they taste good and you're happy with your waffle? I mean, what does it take to become a waffle fiasco? For this next one, I can only assume that the person that wrote this was having the worst day ever. Maybe they didn't like the cruise. Maybe they didn't like the cruise port. Maybe they are not a fan of cruising and will never, ever book one again. I don't know what was going on in their life. But boy, they were angry when they wrote this comment. Norwegian Epic is docked in St. Martin today. Today, 2nd of April, 2026. I am utterly disgusted with the music blazing all over the port. The thoughtless tossers running this shitty vessel. How can anyone be so stupid and insensitive is beyond me. Just a bunch of plonkers. One, I'm not 100% sure what a plonker is. I'm probably going to have to look that one up. But what kind of music were they playing around St. Martin to get this reaction? I mean, exactly what song made them think that it was stupid and insensitive to be in a cruise port and hear music? I don't know what song they were playing. They don't say. But have we not all been to a cruise port and heard music playing all around different locations, different areas? You got musicians out there. I mean, music in a cruise port's pretty common. But apparently this cruiser, they were disgusted with it. And even though it was all over the cruise port, apparently it had something to do with the tossers running the shitty vessel. I don't know. Just, I guess, a really, really bad day. Maybe cruising's not for them. Now, have you ever booked an excursion, missed your excursion, your fault, tried to book another excursion, and are shocked and surprised that the second one you booked is not free? Is that not common knowledge that if you don't go and you don't show and then you book something else, you got to pay again? Because apparently that's not the case for everybody. We had an awful experience with Viator in Spain. We missed our tour. Our fault. They had room for us that day and the next, but wanted us to fully pay again. Not nice. What did they think was going to happen? You booked the excursion, you completely missed it, you admit to it being your fault. You then want to try to get it and do it again later on, and are shocked and surprised that they want you to pay for an excursion that it's not their fault you missed the first time? How is that not nice? Somebody make that make sense. Now I've got one that I don't know how they thought this was a good idea. I don't know how they thought that the cruise line would be like, oh, okay, sure, we're going to do it your way. Because can you imagine making a reservation at the specialty restaurant, sitting down, bringing extra people with you that are, I guess, not on the reservation, them eating but not having to pay? Is the per person charge in a specialty restaurant confusing to anybody? And while I think most cruisers would say no, somebody did write this. The situation. We are a large group of 9 adults and 2 children. We are looking at specialty restaurants where the cover charge is approximately $45 per adult. The idea. Since the specialty dining fee covers a significant amount of food, we are considering booking for only 6 adults instead of the full group. Our thought is to order the equivalent of $270 worth of food to share among everyone If this isn't enough, we would simply head to the buffet afterwards. So my question, strictness, will the restaurant allow a party of 11 to sit at the table if only 6 are paid for via the specialty reservation? Do these restaurants strictly enforce a per person charge regardless of how much food is actually ordered and consumed? And has anyone successfully done this, or will they insist on charging every person sitting at the table? Seems like a no-brainer to me. If you book 6 people to go to a specialty restaurant, and you show up with 11 people thinking that 5 of them are not going to pay, only 6 people are going to be seated and have dinner. You can't show up with a whole double your group size and be like, don't worry, they're just going to eat off of our plates. They're simply going to take up a chair and a table that a specialty restaurant is not going to charge them for. I can't make this stuff up. I really can't. Somebody posted this on the internet. But the shorter answer is, yeah, no. You can't do that. You might want to just start off going to the buffet. And finally, one more for you today. One more. Because there is somebody out there who believes they paid their money for their cruise. They are entitled to do what they want to do, even if it's not allowed, even if it's against the law in some of the cruise ports you go to. Because experienced cruisers, you can't just simply bring whatever you want to bring back on board that ship. And in this particular case, you cannot go to the beach, find a seashell, and then get upset when you try to take it on the ship and they're like, no. So I pay thousands of dollars and these sobs won't let me bring a shell on board and leave the islands 2 hours early than the original itinerary. That is crap, and anyone who comments different is a coward and a sheep. Now, if we're talking about bringing the shell on board, that's a matter of law, okay? Nobody is a coward or a sheep for following the law, and it doesn't matter if you've paid thousands of dollars to get on board the cruise ship, you still gotta follow the rules and the laws. Duh. Now, if he's talking about the fact the ship left port 2 hours earlier than planned, well, the real question there is why? Why did it leave 2 hours early? Something must have gone on. Something must have happened. Weather related, something that required the cruise ship to leave early. Didn't say why. Just let everybody know it's crap. And if you feel differently than his comment, and if you don't 100% agree with everything he said, you're a coward and you're a sheep. So yeah, how about that? And that's going to be our video this week for what every cruiser wants. What do you guys think? Are any of these people right? Do you agree with any of these people? Or do you think perhaps they should have done a little checking ahead of time, a little research ahead of time? Seems like we've heard and said that one before. Know before you book, understand what you're getting into, and perhaps realize that, no, you don't want to lug around a 75-inch TV. That way you have something bigger to watch in your cruise cabin. Right? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day and a really great weekend. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.